Live Friday night. It's Winston Cup 88, FSBRacing.com, the Greg and Melty Show. And we got Michigan on the schedule. Cars are on the grid, getting ready to go. This is Mel Minter Jr. along with my partner in crime here, Greg Bernardo.
Hey, Milty, what's up? What's up, everyone? At one of our favorites, Milty, Michigan International. And this is a track that these guys are all well-versed in, and I think we're going to see a great race tonight, a lot of green flag action.
This is the original version. Like you were just saying in the driver's meeting, this is the first track you ran when you got the game in 2003. Wow, 2003, that was a long time ago. And this game still rocks the house, man.
It sure was, Milty. You're right. This game is, I mean, in computer terms, this game should not even be able to be used anymore. But here it is, 14 years later, and we're broadcasting a race at Michigan, which was part of the original pack of tracks. This is that track that came with the game when you loaded it up.
Absolutely, man. We got a great star-studded field once again here, along with point implications with your points leader, Rick Johnson, looking to pad that. And take a look at the qualifying grid here.
Yeah, we see Josh Elliker on the pole, Jeff Hale outside, Ryan Johnson and Pops in that second row. Rick Johnson, as you just said, Milty, sitting pretty in row 3 along with Ken Hansen. Rick Bisconnor right there as well. So we're going to get underway here with some green flag racing. And Josh Elliker, Milty, has really come on strong with his
this is like
qualifying efforts. I mean,
for this guy.
Gonna have to call him front row Josh. Starts with a J even. And he starts off, and then you can see that dark part of the track here at Michigan is the ideal place to be, Milty. And we're going to see a lot of lines here. You can do the out to in, get up real high up against the wall, kind of go all the way down to that white line in the turn, or we're going to see some guys just run in low line all the way around. And where Jeff Hale is right there, that's also a line you can run successfully.
Detroit City is the place to be, and we get through one lap here.
And you can see side by side right at the line for lap 1. Rick
Guy
Johnson.
Pitra, he asked me, gave me a text saying, please don't put the camera on me. So exactly what we're going to do is put the camera on him.
Yeah, we might go in car with Guy Pitra a little bit.
He's on an alternate rig at one of his other place, and so he's struggling a little bit with calibration issues. So he's going to go to the back and try to ride around and see if he can figure it out.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets all that worked out, because again, this is a track everyone is very well versed in, Milty. If you've owned the game and driven this game in the offline mode against the AI, ran a Winston Cup season or something like that, this was a track obviously that everyone has run. So so far so good. Got off to a nice start. We see Ken Hansen there in that 9 car, looking low under Rick in that 43 car, and Ryan right ahead of him. 21 car right there as well. Well,
you know, you're looking at a fuel window as, boy, somebody goes real high. It looks like that's Dino Francesconi.
And
no, that's
43.
Sorry.
Yeah, up a little high. Did not look like got into the wall, but he's going to lose a ton of track position there with Slim and Mark DeSenza in that 6 Wrangler car looking underneath.
Good to see Mark back. Missed a couple races on Friday night. Going to get some here. Ken Hansen up to P4 there. A little bit of smoke in the infield there. I don't know if that's a barbecue or Hansen's looking to right the season here, and a win would sure do something for that, and he is definitely capable of doing that in that Melling Ford there, the Coors car.
You said it, Milty. He's really in need of a quality finish here. And Jeff briefly has taken the lead. Went in really high there. Josh had a look into the
That's what you
inside,
do.
but you can see he's doing that really high line, Milty, where you're up against the wall and then you drive that car all the way down to the white line of the turn.
This has pretty much been the story of the season. These two out front early, Elliker on pole, and then the 29 passing him into the run, and then the 52 winning at the end. So.
And there's Josh making that look to the inside here, and you see again Jeff up very high into the white lighter part of the track there, but he gets that momentum and run off the high line there, Milty, down the straightaways. And draft does play somewhat role here as well.
Absolutely. Approaching 190 miles an hour, no plates on this track, so it's a huge amount of horsepower. Even though these cars do have a lot less horsepower than, say, the Cup cars at 850, these things are probably pushing about 100 horsepower or less.
And there we see another nice to see showing up for the event, the 91 Ken Shea in the Bumblebee ride there, Milty. And Ken,
that guy's a stud.
Wherever he shows up, he's a threat. Doesn't matter if it's a super speedway or road course or short track, Milty. He's a threat. In fact, I think he's coming off a gateway win in the trucks.
Gateway win, yep. And he is a fantastic driver in all the disciplines.
He sure is.
Short track stud, and he is great at these high-speed rollers here. And here comes Slim Jim Gately up. He's trying to miss the race, so he's trying to definitely close that points gap.
Yeah, we can see the lead has changed hands again. Now Ryan up
Johnson
to the front, but Josh Elliker gets a heck of a run on that outside line now. We're 2x2, 3 deep. And man, that outside line really gets some good runs coming off of 2 and 4, Milty.
Well, his young stud son, we call Ryan Isaac's dad, but Isaac didn't make it tonight. They raced right next to each other, and Pop had his rig all set up, but he was out being a young 16-year-old kid hanging out, so he couldn't make it to the race tonight. So definitely we'll be looking to see him next week. Yeah,
and as we were joking, but it's pretty serious, actually, if you think about it. Him not being here really opens up the race for everyone else, because, man, when that kid shows up, he seems to be fighting for a win. And again, across any discipline, like you were just saying about Ken Shea.
Yeah, he's had a string of road course wins. The kid can do it all, and of course he's, Isaac Johnson Facebook page, doing it in the go-karts for real, an aspiring race car driver.
Yeah, and a lot of guys cut their teeth in those go-karts, Milty, and you learn car control and how to keep that car from not spinning with those short wheelbases, and, you see where it takes you. And there's contact. And
car around. Way off into the grass.
The 91 really got sandwiched there. And let's see if he can continue. I'm sure the caution is out.
Hard lick. No, and it's still green. Because he kept going.
And he's not able to get going now. He had to tow the car, Milty. Yeah, and we're still green, so that's a bad break for Ken Shea. He just really got into like a 3, almost a 4 wide situation there, Milty, and just no room. He got squeezed a little, and with the contact, it sent him into the outside wall.
Car, yep. This Connor was had his own lane he was trying to keep there. Didn't want that to happen.
back live here. We see Josh back in the lead. Jeff Hale second. And how about that 21 car, Milty, moving up into the P3?
Dennis Balsar, we had a nice BS session after the race last week, and he was just really glad to be a part of it. And we were talking back and forth about how well he's done and handling himself since he's been in the league, and looking for that first win. And he's very humble, but you know, we see the skills, and once again, there he is right there in P3.
Yeah, and again, this is I would think for almost every driver that races Milty, a very comfortable track where, you know, it's pretty wide. The turns are gentle, kind of sweeping. Handling really doesn't play a huge role here. A little tire management, a little fuel management, maybe more so than any other track. So, you know, you can come into this race feeling much more confident than maybe some other tracks.
Speaking of fuel, we're probably looking at a fuel window of about 18 to 22 laps here.
Yeah,
obviously 20 would be your what you would like to see if this thing was going to go green. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, and you can see Dennis there right on the back bumper of the 29 car. I think Jeff felt that and said, man, maybe I need to go here. And he's making a move to the inside of Josh Helliker here, and we'll see if Josh is going to give up that position, or are they going to go side by side? Looks like Jeff is going to get that move, but now Slim gets a great run and a little draft off the 29, Milty. And now Slim looking to go into the lead.
Oh, look at the last lap times. Ken Hansen, last lap 39.38.3, and best lap 39.304. So not much tire drag at this point.
Yeah, and Ken tucked in there, right there behind Slim on the inside line. And also moving up there, Milty, right behind Ken Hansen, 19 of Troy Higgins. And Troy's, man, when Troy shows up, he's a threat to win now. We can't ignore him either. He's put some impressive wins up on the board.
Absolutely, and he's a comer later in the race, kind of like a Rick Johnson-esque type driver.
And speaking of Rick Johnson, there he is right behind Mark DeCenza, slowly moving up into the top 5, Milty. And as we get toward the end of this run, I think Rick used this as a measuring stick for the rest of the race here. He really has taken it easy and just been cruising around and around P10 this whole run.
That's what he do. You know, he's in this draft and in no hurry. Plus, he's saving fuel back there a little bit. He might be able to go an extra lap than these front runners who have really been pushing it. Though they've been switching the lead back and forth, so we'll have to see if there's any disadvantage in fuel usage.
And we see Ken Hansen on the outside, Troy Higgins on the inside in that 19 Geico car. Ken on the outside in the quarters.
Oh boy, we've just gone right up against the wall there, but that's a line you can take, and that gets you a huge run coming out as you get back in that draft. But probably a little too wide, but he could be starting to suffer a push there, or maybe a little, even though it was just a dink off of the 91 car, could have some, might have some cosmetic on that thing.
Yeah, and you can see when these cars are lined up against just one car, Milty, the draft really shows, as Ken there was on the inside line, but he was all alone there, and cars were just streaming by him on the outside. And he's still struggling there with getting no love, no help from behind. We'll see what's about Rick Johnson and Mark DeCenza here. But yeah, the draft does play a pretty big role here.
These guys are having so much fun here, and when you're in the car at this track racing like this, the time just flies, and they're approaching 20 here, so
yeah, it looks like they're all going to be able to
hit
the numbers.
Make that fuel window.
And sure you'll be checking the scanner
Nothing.
right now.
Yeah, nothing on the scanner yet. Dead silence.
So we see Jeff Hale reassuming the lead, and you can see the speed there at the line. This race has gone green. Jeff Hale over 180 miles an hour average speed, Milty. You can see the car
Looks like
getting
they're
a little
starting
out
to
of
lose.
shape there.
Yeah, now they're starting to get tire issue.
And we see Josh Elliker making a move to the inside here. Jeff really got out of shape coming out of 2 there, Milty, and Josh took advantage of that.
With these lighter cars, less horsepower, somebody just blew up. That's a big fire out of that car right there, and we got a blown motor. And that's Ryan Johnson on fire, and he shut it off, and the fire went out. I hit the extinguisher, and he's dead stick. That's going to have to bring out the caution. There's nothing, and the caution is out, and there's no noise from that motor. That thing is dead stick.
And we're going to race back to the line here, and of course lap 21, so these guys have really run it out here. And looks like Josh will win that race to the line. Slim second. Jeff Hale
Step
third.
yourself into a Slim, Jim.
Looks like Troy edged Ken for that 4th position there. As they slow down here, and of course we'll see everyone coming in for 4 tires and fuel.
Higgs is a-coming, and when you got this type of parity and closeness, these pit stops are huge. Even under caution, you got to execute perfectly. There's no rest for the wicked.
Yeah, and is there any thoughts of these guys running out of fuel now, having to go this extra lap 22, Milty, going on 23 here? Really stretched it.
You see them all kind of going down low, trying to make sure they pick up that last little bit of fuel.
Yeah, looking at that fuel pressure gauge, and sometimes you see that thing start slowly creeping down to 0, and you start hearing it sputter. But we see Josh picked up the pace car, and he's going to lead him down.
More tires and fuel.
And of course Josh on the pole, so he'll have that preferred pit stall. Slim and Jeff Hale gonna try to beat him by a couple tenths and see if they can cross that line ahead of him. And remember, Milty, from last race, Josh had some issues with the angling because he was not in the lead as he came down pit lane, so he had to come in at a sharp angle. And
this time it's different, yeah, definitely. Plus there's more spacing in between these stalls here in Michigan.
you see
Slim, great pit stop for the 25. He moves all the way up to 3rd place. If he wasn't speeding.
Yeah, we'll have
wow, what a great job of that. Snap yourself into a Slim Jim crew.
And then it looks like the top 5 kind of came in and went out as is, Milty. So good job by the crews there. Mark DeSenza looks to come out 6th when it's all said and done. We'll have to check that, and maybe some guys stayed out here. It looks like 43 maybe stayed out to lead a lap here, Milty. So it's a little strategic move by Rick Bisconner.
Yeah, look, getting some puntos.
But Josh Elliker in first, out first. Good job by his crew. And then, yeah, now looking at it, did Slim sneak by Jeff Hale?
It looked like he was a possibility of 3rd place for him there.
Yeah, so it looks like it will be Josh, then Jeff, and then Slim.
We'll see. I don't know. Jeff's still staying up there. Obviously, they're communicating on their scanner. They're not going to, on their radios, they're not going to risk a black flag here. So it looks like Jeff did get that spot.
Yeah, it does look like that. So The top 5 kind of stays intact, and then Mark Desenza 6th.
No, my bad. Well, yeah, Jeff got 2nd, so but Slim got 3rd in front of Troy Higgins. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
And
Rick Johnson in no hurry to. They were pretty lackadaisical. They weren't in a hurry to try anything special. I think he still wants to ride in the back like that, and wait for later in the race.
So plenty of laps to go, and we see T-Roy and Pops there. T-Roy rounding out the top 10 in the 17 car there. Fireball Thunderbird. There's Pops.
Down California.
Then the 38 car there, the old Milwaukee. And Leo staying on that lead lap, Milty. 12th position.
Well, you know, I keep a big eye on the sim racing community, and a lot of stuff going on this week, and all these different leagues and stuff, and not all of it good. You know, as a fellow sim racer and a longtime veteran of this league, my advice for some of these guys would just take a chill pill and relax a little bit. I mean, this stuff is all about racing and respecting your fellow competitors, and you know, you don't get to race in a league for as long as I have here, you know, without respecting your competitors and being, you know, sometimes you win some, you lose some, you know, and but I know some of these guys are watching, and you know, take a deep breath, man. You know, it's a long life, just, you know, one race is just one race, you know, and
yeah, it is, and you know, when ability levels and sometimes other factors all come together at once, you know, you have bumps in the road.
Grown men get a little crazy, you know.
When you work hard and put a lot of time into doing anything in life, and then maybe you perceive it's been kind of taken away from you, that can hurt, and you know, got to check it at the door, as they say here, Milty, in this, and we try to. And like you said, you can yell and scream all you want, as long as no one hears it, you're good.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, that's what team channels are for, and all that good stuff. And that definitely doesn't mean I'm sitting from a position of being perfect, but you know, just for all our friends out there, you know, just hey, you know, we all want to be racing for a long time together. As we get ready to go green, as Rick Johnson topped off there, smart move by him, the veteran, and that's a cool customer that knows how to keep his head. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and it shows with the results and the strategy. He wins with strategy. He wins with skill, and you know, if he has to race door to door with someone, he'll race door to door. And
but he needs to get in this draft. Yep, as they're definitely got to get in that draft there, and look, there they get going. Looking at Leo Kelly in the 38, this guy has just really impressed me. He's really improved, and he keeps racing. He races clean, and he's had some bumps in the road, but he keeps fighting, and you see the improvement week by week, and that's a nice move to let them guys get by.
And we see Rick there getting under the other Rick, Rick Johnson, passing Rick Bisconner there, Melty. But
I think he sees the urgency of
he really
needing to stay in this draft.
Yeah,
you know?
He really kind of needs to drive the car now. Kind of a gap there between him and Pops, and he'll need to make up that distance there if he wants to stay with this lead pack, as we see moving further.
Looking at 1 second advantage, you still get the draft. You get the 1.5 and you start to lose it.
We see a battle again for the lead between 29-47. Josh Elliker in the low line. Jeff Hale and company on the outside line there, and Jeff's going to win that battle and retake the lead. And Slim and Troy and Ken Hansen right there. Looks like Ken giving Josh a little shove there, trying to get him back in the game. And
Rick does. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, this will definitely help Rick.
And Rick did exactly that. You seen that line coming out of 4. He was powering off, using all of what he had to get. Now he's within 0.7 of a second. Then he'll start to back it off a little bit. That's the, that's the risk you take if you get caught behind cars there, as we see Bisconner and Leo Kelly losing the draft here now. Got to get going. These restarts are really important, and I think they kind of fell asleep a little bit there.
And of course, Rick rolled the dice there with popping up.
I know this because I've done this so many times. You get these cautions and get these pits rolls. You got to really recharge your mind and get back up on the wheel and get that intensity you had at the start.
Absolutely, and you see Rick doing a great job there, hanging on the pops, and he's definitely in the draft again. And now he can start maybe easing up just a bit. I think he had to drive that car much harder than he liked to right there.
Absolutely.
But there's where the skill comes in, Milty. If that was me, I would have been out of the draft. But with Rick's skill of knowing how to drive this track, he's put himself right back now in good position to be a factor later on in this race.
Well, it take 5-time Pro Cup champion, 3-time Sportsman Cup champion.
I think he was a Grand National champion way back when that was a really well attended series. And I mean, if he when he runs full time, Milky, he's going to be in contention to win the championship. We see Mark DeSenza really working over Josh there, right up on the back bumper going into the turn. The car you can get loosened up here, Milty, as well, if you get a guy right on your back bumper going into these fast turns.
Yeah, you got the arrow, plus you got them distracting you too. It's
You see Josh drop back just a bit here, now side by side with Ken Hansen. And Dennis right there as well, helping Ken on that outside line. Looks like these guys have elected to really work that outside line much more than the inside, Milty.
Looking at these speeds, looks like they've all. One of the things that I think helped Rick is they're all kind of backed it off a little bit. They realize it's a smaller field. It's going to probably go green. And they're all thinking about what they're going to do later in the run now, because they're not running those 39. Just as I say that, Ken Hansen runs his fastest lap at 39.1. So throw that out the window.
44, yeah. So
shut up, announcer. The hell you know.
But what we are seeing, Milty, is some side-by-side racing up at the front, and that's certainly helped Rick as well.
Slim Shady there told us you're going to see a show tonight, and he wasn't kidding. We got some badass racing here. Yeah,
you said it. That's some good door-to-door racing inside. You can see when these cars decide to line up together, whether it be inside or outside, they can really make hay against a single car very quickly. And we see Slim kind of getting left out in the cold there. 3 cars go by him. Now Josh Elliker quickly catches him.
Oh, boy.
And Rick has gotten around Pops as well, Milty, in these last couple laps. And now he's working the 17 car. So Rick looking to try to break into this lead group of cars.
Looks like they're just on a Sunday drive at 190 miles an hour. But this ain't easy, folks. No break here. You're just lifting and rolling right at 190 as you enter turn 1 there. And that feeling, even in the simulator, you get a little bit of your stomach. You know, I rode in many real race cars with my dad. And I know that actual feeling, a lot of times you don't get that in a simulator, of just the motion of the car where your stomach goes up into your mouth. But sometimes, you know, like at this track like this, you get that run and you come in and you get that shortness of breath where you have to remember, I got to breathe, you know.
And,
and they're...
Oh, man.
Hard into the wall. Looks like he lost it on his own there. Tried to change lanes in the middle of the corner. We'll have to take a look at that to be sure.
Yeah, well, wow. And we were inside Rick Johnson's car there as we saw a big cloud of smoke up ahead, and everyone did a great job, really, of avoiding disaster right there.
Out.
And they're going to race back to the line. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that from outside Rick's car here and see what happened to Jeff there, man.
It looks like he made a decision to change lanes while he was in the middle of the corner there, and take a look down low, and
yeah, we'll take a look at it again here.
Unless he was already coming around.
He brushed the outside wall, Milty.
Oh, okay.
And I think in pulling off of the wall, the car went around on him, and yeah, hard into the outside wall.
Yeah. You want to use every inch of that track, and that's what he was doing. You want to take that outside in, and then to get that great apex coming out. And
he's staying
like
in
Luigi
the race,
Chinetti used to say for Ferrari, he told my dad, you go too out, you go too in the corner, you're going to crash.
We'll see what the crew can do to get this car back into running order. That was a pretty hard lick on the outside wall, Milty.
It was a pancake, so we seen already last week, we seen some cars that did that, but they weren't going quite as fast as they were here, so.
Yeah, and the car doesn't look too terrible, so.
Pour some Miller on that thing, and pour a little Miller in the driver's mouth, and let's get this going here.
Yeah, and we're only at the halfway point of the race, Milty, so still over 40 laps remaining for him to feel out this car again and get it back where he'd like it to be. We'll follow him down and see if the crew's going to make any repairs to it, or if he's just going to get 4 tires of fuel here.
Meanwhile, Ken Hansen in his stall first. This is a great opportunity for the Coors Ford driver.
Yeah, there's a lot of beers out here fighting for the win. The Miller team now has been beat up a little.
2 tires, I think, for some of these guys. We got some 2-tire stops for these guys, and getting track position. Like Troy Higgins gets out there in front.
Yeah, and we saw Ken come off the jack, and just car was a handful, putting the power down there in pit lane. And we'll check the running order here when they come back around.
Looks like the crew took a little time to get that 29, get those, that sheet metal off the fenders there.
Yeah, and of course, Jeff, being a very knowledgeable driver, sees that there's only 12 cars in this race remaining, all on the lead lap. So whether he's in 12th right off by a 10th of a second, or 12th taking his time, you're still going to be 12th there. So fix the car and make it the best you can. That would be the best strategy, I would think.
Well, it looks like we got a report. Guy Pitra had a little meltdown in the pits there, beating on his computer. They had to calm him down there and tear him away from the computer. I think it was going to be a fight between Guy Pitra and his rig, and
The
So
rig,
we had to,
the rig probably would win, but
yeah,
um,
absolutely. That rig could kick his butt. So,
in the end, they'd both be losers.
and his good friend Jerry Forkolb was just sitting there laughing at him. So, yeah, what are friends for? But actually, these guys and you and all our buddies, we sim race together. We're doing this iRacing stuff also. The 12 hours of Sebring coming up. We're good friends, and all these guys in the community, definitely good friends. And racing against computer cars would suck. So you gotta race against real people, and sometimes it happens.
Yep, that's a fact, and it's
Well, we
just
got this
the way it is.
opportunity. I'm going to get me a Budweiser because that's about the only car I don't see out here tonight. So I'm going to have to step up for my sponsor, and I'll be right back.
As Milty steps away momentarily, we see we're just getting to the halfway point of the race. 40 laps remaining. We saw that first run. Caution came out right at about lap 21, and no pitting was done. So these guys can do 20 plus laps. We'll call it 23 plus laps. So right now, it certainly appears one stop would get them to the end of the race. That certainly will be something that all these guys are going to contemplate as the lights are off on the pace car. So we'll be back green flag racing at lap 42. FSBRacing.com, Friday night racing, Winston Cup Series, Michigan International Speedway. 19 car Troy Higgins is our leader under caution. Mark Descenza second, Josh Elliker third, our pole sitter. Has led some laps multiple times already. Ken Hansen sitting in fourth. Ken's best run so far, I think, of the season. Halfway through, let's see if Ken can put it together this second half of the race here and fight for a podium finish, which would be a real shot in the arm for him, I'm sure. Dennis Balsar in the 21 car, Slim Jim. Right behind him, and there's Rick Johnson. T. Roy. Pops in the 99 ride. Rick.
T. Roy really wants to, T. Roy's a veteran, and he really would love to follow that 52 up there and get him a win here.
Well, right now the other Troy is our leader, Milty, the 19 of Troy Higgins. He's going to take the green here and lead us down.
We just hope he doesn't have the little Geico guy going, "I've got a flat tire."
Yeah, let's hope that. And I happened to see on that rear quarter, Milty, is that a Pittsburgh Steelers symbol?
Yes, it is.
So the Geico Pittsburgh Steeler, I think that's a... What is he driving there, Milty?
As a Raider fan, you know what I think about that, but this is all over his tail.
And boy, Josh down low.
This is
Ken Hansen.
This is a gang up here. This is West Side Story here on the outside. Can those three do it against the 7 or 8 there?
Some great side-by-side action here at the front. 47 and 19 glued together at the front. Mark Descenza trying to figure out which way to go. Ken Hansen helping Josh on that inside line keep up. So Troy not really able to clear him. Now he is. Let's see if he chooses to go down low or to keep on that high line here. Some great side-by-side action here on this restart.
What a run the 19 got coming out of that turn 4 there, which you can do with that push and that grate, you don't have to turn that wheel as much, and you just take that sucker right. Try to get that steering wheel as straight as you can
Man,
coming out.
and you see he was right
Blam!
up against the wall, Milty. And look at the run he got coming out there, and he's surging to the lead now, taking Mark DeCenza with him.
Got that huge draft push from the outside. Higgs can roll, man. Let me tell you.
Boy, and he's showing a remarkable finishing effort, Milty. When he's had these leads in some of these higher profile races, he's finished the deal. And a lot of these guys can get to the lead, but keeping the lead sometimes is a different story.
Allstar on the outside, also trying to push DeCenza. He's been around long enough to know who these studs are and who, you know. When you go to the party, you dance with who you brung with, and they're clearing the lead. What are they going to do? Are they going to stay outside, or are they going to try to go in?
Yeah, and you can see Josh and Ken have
Glenn
really
a little bit left out to dry. I think he's out there looking for a date.
And we can see Rick Johnson now, Slim Jim, and yes, the 29 car of Jeff Hale, Milty, are starting to creep into this picture.
We'll have to see. You know, that car's got to be hurting a little bit, but with this draft, he'll should be able to stay with him. Whether or not he can make any moves is another story.
Now we see Troy, Mark, and Dennis have cleared Josh, and the top three now have set sail on that higher line. And side by side, Slim and Josh for fourth position, and there's Rick Johnson right there pushing that inside line. Now Josh kind of goes up high. I think Josh has said, I've had enough of this inside line, and now the cars go down low on him. So Josh not having many friends here, it looks like, Milty.
Well, we see that line that Higgs is running there, and that was the line that Rick Johnson was running when he was trying to catch up. And is running again, not quite as wide, being a little more conservative. Now he's in the draft, trying to save tires.
And also, Milty, some guys
Rewind.
Some guys forget once they're in it is when you're in that draft, not only can you maybe save a little fuel, but your speed can increase. Whoa, and Mark gets a little loose there, coming out of 2 there, Milty. Woo!
I think the first time I raced. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When you carry so much more momentum into these turns and maybe 2 or 3 more mile an hour, the car can feel a little different if you're using the same spot, to lift, and you're carrying much more speed, and you got to be conscious of that as well. But these guys
gets
really
freer,
working that.
Yeah.
And Ken there a little loose as well, working that outside line. You can get out of shape if you're just not hitting it right.
Well, Mark DeCenza, he used to race at a league that spawned from FSB with a co-founder, Dan Smith, DC Racing, and Dan called me up one night and he said, "I got this stud over here just kicking our asses, man. You need to come over and whip the shit out of him." I came over and of course he whipped the shit out of me, and but we had a good battle, and it was at Michigan like this,
and we're seeing it right now as he's
battling.
We're
seeing it right now.
And boy, these cars are getting a little loose now, Milty, as the tire wear starting to show after about 10 laps of racing now. Lap 50 of 80. One more stop if we stay green, I think, here, Milty.
Yes, sir.
And we know who the master of the green flag stops are as well. As we see Mark surging into the lead, Troy on the outside. Now Rick.
That in that 52 red box Ford.
It's Rick Johnson, of course.
He used a lot of energy up, as they say now in today's
and the
racing.
Car's a little loose there, Milty, again.
I think the car he had to use a lot of energy to get where he's at. He's got that draft, but you got to think his tires are a little bit worse than the rest of these guys because of where he had to come from.
And we see Slim, Josh are right there. Troy now left kind of in the dust again as they all line up in the inside of him. And man, it really shows when it's just one car, Milty, that you really need to get in line quickly if you want to save spots. It looked like Troy might have brushed the wall right there too as well.
At this speed, at the way you're running like this, it really jumps up and bites you. Like Forrest Gump would say, jump up and bit me. And just lap after lap, you do the same thing. All of a sudden, you do the same thing again. You think, and the thing won't turn. You know.
And Slim not content to ride behind Rick Johnson here. He made a move hard to the inside as they went down the front straight. Josh Elliker right on the bumper of Slim, helping on that inside line, and Troy bounces off the wall
again. That's not good for the 19.
No, that's not good, Milty. And as the push as the tires wear, it's going to get even pushier for him, so he's got to be real careful of that. And you can see Slim really made a aggressive move there, Milty, and forced Slim to that outside line where not a lot of participants, and that pushed Slim right into the lead.
This stint right here, they have done more jostling than they have the other ones, and they're not really running faster lap times. In fact, it looks like last laps they're running, not running their best laps. That's for sure. Of course, this is later in the run.
Mark up very high there.
Mark up against the wall there. These guys have been pushing and driving hard. I think they're using their stuff up this run.
And we're about 15 laps into this run, Milty. So still probably 6, 7, 8, 9 laps to go. We saw them over 20 laps on that first run before the caution came out. So if we're going to use that as...
it to 58, yeah.
Yeah, if we're going to use that as a measuring stick, we went green at lap 41. So these guys can certainly do to, 54, 55. Can they stretch it to about 57 is the question.
Well, yeah, that's what you need.
And it looks like they will. We're on lap 55 now, Milty. Slim, our leader. Josh Elliker second. Dennis third. Dennis has just been driving the wheels off of his car. And he's just been tucked into that third, fourth position all night.
All night long.
He's letting the other guys do the heavy lifting. He's been tucked in to one car or another, making very few passes. But now, as I say that, he gets a little hungry and making a move to the inside of Josh Elliker for a second position.
Oh, dog sees his meat, I think here. He sees the, yep, like that.
And there comes the 17 car. You mentioned T-Roy, Milty, is kind of hungry for a win as well. And here he comes, surging up into fourth position. And Pops is right there, too. And Rick Bisconner, Milty, was left for dead earlier in this race. And here he comes.
He was able to stay on the lead lap, even though he went way back and kept his head, and here he is.
And I'll tell you, Slim Sim Racing, and before that, when he was with Warthog, the season before with Jeff Hale, is really, you can see direct improvement. And now with Slim Sim, Milty, I mean, you got the professor on your team. I mean, how can you not be better?
That's like going from independent to Hendrick,
Exactly. and Slim is controlling this race right now, and we're on lap 58, so we're definitely inside a window where you could pit and finish this race. Now it's a matter of
like the
who's going to blink.
9 and 38 are pitting on the scanner. They're pulling the trigger here.
And Ken Hansen is in this lead group, so this is an interesting maneuver.
And he did not pit.
No, he did not pit.
Unless that was from the last chats, that could be. So
Okay, so we're on lap 59 of 80
Yeah.
now. 20, approaching 20 to go. We know they ran at least 22 laps before that caution came out.
We'll wait for the.
Oh, and Dennis
Whoa.
hangs that car, and the tire wear now, Milty, and handling
There
is
we
starting
go.
to rear
There
its
we
head.
go. We got 29 and 21
And I think
on
that
the
was
scanner.
that was enough for Dennis to say, yeah, I need some tires.
There they come.
And we see Jeff Hale as well, a little clip of the
A
grass.
little clip of the grass should be good as long as he gets in that commitment cone.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as he gets all 4 tires across the line without being on the grass.
Will this
okay.
will this lead group do it this time?
We see Troy Higgins, Dennis Balsar, and Jeff Hale in our first cars of that lead group in. Back to Slim, Josh Elliker, and now Rick Bisconner up to 3rd position. When will they pit?
You want to go when everybody else does. You're in the lead already. You're in that lead pack. You don't want to pit by yourself, come out by yourself.
And
You don't want to have you don't want to have less tires. Now, if we get a caution here, that could change everything, especially for these guys that have already pitted early or earlier.
No one else on pit lane now, so just those 3 pitting.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, now the question is, would those 3 come out and start running better laps than these guys on old tires, Milty? And how much do you stay out and lose time now? Slim still in the lead.
3 versus 8 is you lose. But they have better tires, so.
And they're still racing a little side-by-side action here as Slim, Josh Elliker, Pops, Rick Bisconner, and then Ken Hansen, Rick Johnson, all in this lead group. Lap 62, so these guys are really pushing it, Milty.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
So now we do see that those 3 really pitted earlier than maybe they obviously needed to, Milty. So a strategic move by those first 3 drivers.
Banking on no caution for sure.
Definitely. We see Mark DeSenza trying to keep up now, Milty. So I don't know if Mark did brush the wall and maybe get a little push there. And with this tire wear, he's struggling now to keep up with the league pack of cars.
How about the venerable one, Pops, there, just really kind of running an alternate line and using that bottom there. He's taking the short way around, which I like to do late in the run at Michigan also. And it's really being successful for him.
Yeah, he's very smooth, Milty. You see, a lot of these guys are hanging the car out now. Pops
there we go.
And Josh Elliker right on the back bumper.
Here they all come. Here they're coming. They're all coming. They're all coming.
Okay.
All coming at once.
So we'll keep an eye on our leaders as they come into pit lane.
Down to 55 miles an hour.
And you see them all coming down. Got to get woed down before
Ken
that
Hansen
line.
stays out.
Wow.
I don't know about that move.
A bold move by Ken Hansen.
I think he missed the boat there, my friend.
Well, let's keep an eye on Ken now.
Get a caution.
And
Yeah,
well, Milty, now we're down to like 15 laps to go. Can you shorten your fuel? Just do fuel only. Can the tires last 15 more laps?
Yeah, well, they might not blow, but how good they're going to be. Oh, 3 wide at the line. Slim powers through to the lead of that pack.
And we see the group leaving as Ken comes in.
That was part in the Red Sea right there.
And here is the 19, 29, and 21 Milty, who were our early pitters. They're going to be coming around right now to challenge these guys that were just in the pits.
And they got Leo there a lap down. And he does a great job letting them by. That's great, smart driving. But Slim gets a huge advantage. But the rest of these guys and the guys that pitted earlier are coming through the back here.
And we'll
They've got momentum. They've got Momo right now.
And we'll also check.
They got to use it. Here comes Hansen coming out. He can still catch on to this group here. Got to go, son.
There we see Ken. Can he latch onto the 21 car?
Oh, boy, that's going to be hard, though. Just that one lap of driving by himself, he's going to have to do like Rick Johnson. He does have... might run out of laps now, Milty. He does have T-Roy to help him, but...
And there we see Jeff Hale, Troy Higgins, and Dennis Balsar. Those were those group of 3 that pitted early, Milty, and now they are about 2.6 seconds off the lead.
They're going to gobble Slim up here, though. He's on Slim Island right now, and it's Slim Pickens.
But of course, Slim always preaches the green flag stop, Milty, and again, it's paid dividends.
But they are all over him like Swiss cheese on a ham sandwich right now.
He's got a couple guys here that are hungry for wins. Josh Elliker, of course.
Hungry for the wolf.
Maybe the hungriest of the 3 has got to be that 47 car with Slim and Rick.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Also in a battle on the inside there, trying to pick up Higgins. He's got 2 damaged cars around him.
Back to Mark DeSenza, who's kind of on an island. Rick Bisconner. Man, what a great drive by Rick here, Milty. He's
Absolutely.
in P5, and the car, we really left him for dead. Off the wall early, he was off the pace.
And he's not dead yet, because this second group is going to pick those guys up.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have numbers against these leaders. 3 against 8 here. The fat lady ain't singing, but they got to go.
And we see Jeff now making a move under the 19 car. So now Jeff's going to lead this. Oh, and Ken Hansen hard into the wall. Will we get a caution, as he was right at the end of that pack?
Absolutely.
And caution is out. Yes, caution is out. Slim will race back to the line here, but he's going to have to earn this win now.
And that's a stage win for Slim. Wait a minute. We don't do that.
No, we don't.
What the hell is a stage win?
This isn't the Tour de France.
Well, that's what NASCAR's doing now.
Yeah,
so I don't know. That's
okay.
A whole other discussion for another time.
Now, so we should go back green with about 6 to go or so, Milty. Do you do any pitting at all here, knowing the small field?
You're up front. You can't do it. You're in back.
You got to do it.
You do. You gotta get tires if you're in the back.
So now, if you're Jeff Hale in 6th position, do you go back in, fuel up, get tires?
Well, I don't think you need fuel, but you need tires, or maybe 2. But
this is going to be a cat and mouse.
He's got damage already. He needs some kind of advantage.
Do you just do the opposite? If people ahead of you come in, you stay out. If
they're not going to
come in.
They're not going to come in.
Well, Slim definitely down low.
Let's see here.
We call him the professor.
He's sitting on a sack of seeds.
They're all coming in here. Will anyone stay out and roll the dice?
What the hell do I know?
Wow.
Well, somebody's got to roll the dice. Come on, man. What the heck's going on here? And it's Rick Bisconner. Attaboy.
Well, someone is going to make their bed right now.
They got a few laps on those tires, so they were all, they were all eyeballing each other, and Higgins has a hard time around.
And it looked like Slim.
17 misses his pit stall.
And Josh Elliker gets out ahead of Slim there, Milty. I think Josh took just 2 tires. Josh has had a
Well,
great car all night. Was that be enough though?
I think that was your alternate. Once you realized everybody was coming in, dude, you have the foresight to try something alternate on the fly, and it looks like, unless he was just thinking of 2 tires to begin with.
And we'll see the 38 car will be coming in.
But if these guys all got 4 tires, I don't know, man.
Inside 10 laps here, Milty. FSB has a 10-lap rule. Any car on the tail end or 1 lap down or more has to pit. That allows all the lead lap cars to race for those final positions. So we'll see that 38 car peel into the pits, and that leaves Josh Elliker in second position. Now will Rick come in, knowing that everyone else has tires behind him?
Oh, the 43 comes in. I guess he just wanted to lead that lap. Realize I got nothing for these guys.
And maybe also realizes with the small field here, Milty, any kind of contact and wreck, maybe he could steal some positions. But just a great drive tonight by Rick there. Let's see what he does. He's in the pit.
STP, the racer's edge. The old Milwaukee car comes in, Leo Kelly.
Yeah, so
a great season for him. He's done a great job against these extremely experienced professionals.
Now, if you're Josh Elliker with the 2-tire change there, Milty, you want to see a long caution here.
Yes, sir. And maybe another one. With you in the lead and them crashing behind you. Gotta roll the bones sometimes, man.
Yeah, and Josh has just had a very competitive car all night. Sat on the pole, led multiple times now. But I think he recognized that Slim is just so hard to beat on the track, Milty. It's just so hard to get around him. That the other way you can get around him is on pit lane if you can somehow do better than him. And,
yeah, I've experienced that firsthand for sure.
So Josh elected to roll the dice in pit lane, and he did get out ahead of him. So with the laps counting down, can he drive about 5 or 6 laps and hold Slim and Jeff Hale and company off?
Oh, these guys are all sitting right now in their cockpits in their homes going, man, is this fun or what?
So we'll have a green with 7 laps to go. And boy, Milty, that I don't know. I don't know if you can drive 7 laps and keep these guys behind you. And let's not forget Rick Johnson has finally put himself in a position to win this race, as we kind of thought he would do all along, Milty, through his trials and tribulations tonight. But there he is, sitting in 4th position, and car's clean, fresh tires on it, so he's going to go for it. And Mark DeSenza's right there as well. Can't ever fall asleep on him.
Well, also the reason why Rick is a 5-time Pro Cup champion and multiple champion is he'll be okay with a top 5 finish also, and just pad those points, man. But he's definitely going to try to go for the win, but he won't do nothing crazy here, I don't think.
No, I think he's going to see what I think he knows Slim's been fast all night. Jeff, he might not know, maybe through some communication there, if Jeff can tell him how that car's doing, but it looks like the crew did a great job on Jeff Hale's car.
Yeah, he's been right back up there.
Okay, here we go.
Race car is off.
And the restart here for Josh, very important.
Can't pass to the back straight, so big push by the 29 on his teammate. As I'm sure that was orchestrated, and that's a great start. These guys are up on the wheel here.
Yeah, and let's see how quickly Slim makes a move here, or will someone else? And that's someone else.
There
Looks
comes
like
Rick Johnson on
Rick
the
Johnson.
inside.
So Rick with an immediate move on Jeff Hale, and he'll take that position. I think Jeff Hale's car is a little wounded.
Yeah. The quicker picker-upper right there.
And now Rick sitting right behind
easy
Slim
work
Jim.
right there. So definitely 29 is, because you know the 29 on cold tires is as best as they come.
And Rick Johnson is not satisfied here, Milty. He's going right to the front.
29 needs to pick up his teammate, and that's exactly what he does. And now they got Mark DeSenza on the outside. Elliker on the outside. They're leaving Rick Johnson to hang, but Rick's going to drive it in there like he never did before, because Sim Racer's driving it in harder.
And now he's side by side with Slim, looking on that outside line where you get that big run coming off of 4 here. Let's see if Slim can push Josh
That's hard
Elliker.
to do, man. On cold tires, Rick Johnson really nailed that.
And now he's going to go to the inside of Josh.
And
he's
looking for the lead.
Can Josh
right
get
here.
down in front?
He shuts the door.
Nice job. Can he hold it down, though, here? Mark
he
DeSenza's
does.
coming, too.
Got to go.
Josh is going to have his hands full with these guys, Milty, with
Absolutely, with those
Rick
2 tires.
Johnson's really driving it in hard.
Oh, boy, that's inches apart. Great driving, but Rick Johnson powers out with those 4 tires, and he takes the lead.
Man, and Mark DeSenza helping now push Rick into the lead. And now Josh is going to be, I think, in trouble now with the rest of the
Here
field.
comes T-Roy on the inside.
And T-Roy drove it in.
Go, boy.
And Slim got shuffled there, Milty, way to the outside. And he's lost some ground.
They've got the big pack here. They can suck it up. Still plenty of time to go here. Got to keep your poise. 3 wide coming out and back to 2.
Oh, and almost a little contact between T-Roy and Josh there behind the
Rick
leaders.
trying to break the draft. I don't know. That's a good idea, though. This is on the outside, driving it in hard. Mark D Rocket.
Yeah, well, Rick drift up in front of him here and try to take that line away. And
Absolutely.
he does. But now Mark tries to do an out-to-in move.
And it's Mark DeSenza on the inside.
Some great driving there by Mark. He went high, he went low, and now he found a way around him. Can he hold him off?
Plenty of time to go here. Rick needs to do the same thing that Mark just did to him, but what a power run out from the 6 car. That regular Chevrolet's got some ponies under it.
And here comes Jeff Hale down low, trying to get that run.
How about that? T-Roy in 3rd. That Shadow Racing Ford would love to get on the podium.
Yeah, and he's sitting right there. Josh Elliker coming back now. But Mark is really...
Look at that run coming out here. Rick Johnson is pacing him. There comes a 47 down low. T-Roy.
And here comes Rick Johnson.
And here comes Rick Johnson. T-Roy doesn't give you a lot of room, but he has to. And it's side by side, but it's not over for 3rd and 4th.
Or for the lead here, Milty. They're side by side for the lead. And do they touch right there?
Side by side.
Oh, Jeff Hale.
And they're crashing behind.
But that's not going to matter.
Right here. Side by
oh,
side
and Mark looked like got a little loose there. Oh, and he gets turned.
He behind, and it's Rick Johnson.
Rick Johnson, Josh Elliker, and I think Slim just edged T-Roy for that final podium spot. With Mark DeSenza goes spinning onto the grass.
Mark ain't racing for a championship, so he was going balls to the wall there. and I'm sure he'll live with that. Them guys are probably just going, F yeah, man, right now.
Wow.
Uh, you seen the veteran, Rick Johnson, get past, kept his cool, got back, used about a lap to get back in the position, and then made the
And you
pass.
see Mark went up to try to put the block on him there, Milty, but Rick was anticipating that and
It's
just
like,
really did
this,
a
look at
crossover
that,
move on him
look
there.
at that crossover.
And then Mark, I think, tried to consolidate his second position by trying to then put a block on Josh, and that just did not work either for him.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's cool with that because he knows what he did, So
And
I
of
mean,
course,
it's racing. That's the last lap, baby, man.
oh, and
This
he
is.
just got down in front of Josh. And just a little contact sent him spinning through the grass.
You seen him right as he came out of four. The car got a little loose on him, and he had to catch it, and then it kind of veered back in.
It looks
It
like
could have been he just was trying to correct it because the car was starting to get loose on him a little bit there. Man, I gotta go to the porta potty here real quick. That was awesome. I'll be right back.
And there we see our finishing positions. Woo, what a finish. Rick Johnson takes the win. Followed by Josh Elliker, Slim Jim, just edges T. Roy for that final podium position. Then Rick Bisconner, top five. Great job by Rick. Pops, Mark DeSenza, finishing seventh, sliding through the grass. And then Dennis Balsar, Troy Higgins round out our lead lap cars. Jeff Hale, Leo Kelly, one lap down. Jeff wrecking right toward the end of that final lap there as well. Uh, so some rough and tumble racing there at the end. But the results are Rick Johnson is our race winner. Josh Elliker, Jim Gately, Slim Jim round out our podium, and Milty will uh, try to gather them up and have a quick chat with him before we call it a night. Great racing here, short field tonight, but some great side-by-side racing, some great action, and a great finish there amongst Rick Johnson, Mark DeSenza, Josh Elliker. Just some good, hard racing there at the front. And as we're gathering up our participants, don't forget fsbracing.com, the website. Go check it out. Got a lot of good stuff on there. Series information, dates, times, access to the forums. Once you sign up, there's a sign up sheet there to get you started. You can check out the homepage, all the various series that we're running. Got the Triple Crown coming up. March 5th is the Daytona 500. Yes, our Daytona 500, the full 500 laps. And that will be a big fun event coming up. Uh, Triple Crown taking the top three long races and add up all the points. And guy with the most points in those three is going to be our Triple Crown winner. So that's something coming up. And it looks like we're gathered up our podium finishers, and man, great finish, Rick.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Good. That was just that was a
You are
good
the man.
overall race of how to manage a race and then how to put the hammer down when you need to. Um, Great job managing your race all night. We're very interested in watching you all night as you worked your way up there. With that one time, Rick, where you did a top up there, we almost thought you were going to lose the draft, and here you are in victory lane.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna lose it too.
That was the deciding moment of your race where I was saying, man, he is driving it as hard as he can all of a sudden right now, and to get himself, you were right on the edge of that draft window, and it turned out later that there were other opportunities as far as due caution. Guys didn't get laps down, but it just that was really, I mean, you put the hammer down right there.
Yeah, I pretty much wasn't lifting first 5 laps there. Trying to catch back up to the draft.
Yeah, well, great job there, and a great battle there at the end with Mark DeSenza. And talk about the draft here, Rick, and working that outside line, and then almost making like old school slingshot moves.
Yeah, you could get like a really good run on the outside, and then you could just almost not even lift once you go down to the bottom. Just keep it floored and just go right into the turns. That's basically what I did to pass Mark. But he did the same thing to me to pass me to F2 to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw a great duel there at the end.
Yeah, we were saying when he did that, it was like, if that had been or two to go, it was a done deal. But there was too much time left, and we knew that you were gonna study that and try to do the same thing to him, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. That was some good stuff there. And Josh, pole, many laps led, many different times there. Um, I, I believe you took 2 at the end there, Josh. What was the thinking there?
We see Josh's mic on,
Yeah.
but he may have some technical difficulties with Josh.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. I mean, my teammate and I were running 1 and 2, Slim and I, and we took 2 tires, thinking that more people were either going to stay out or take 2, and it's one of those things where you're in the lead and people are going to do what you don't. But I was happy that we were able to hold on to podium finishes with that.
Yeah, that was a great job of getting out in front there as well. But yeah, it looked like just a few too many laps for the 2 tires, with most of the field actually taking 4 and only 1 staying out. That probably didn't make you feel too good about the situation.
No, I thought we were kind of sitting ducks there when it went green, but maybe we were going to get a quick caution or something. But, I mean, we hung in there. It just took, driving to the limit of the 2 fresh tires you had to stay up there. And I'm sorry that I spun Mark out coming to the line and just trying everything that I could. I held on to my line, and he made the move he needed to make, and it stinks that's the way it ended up.
Yeah,
that was some good hard racing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And then, of course, we get to the professor, Slim. You had a very good car all night. It looked like you were able to race low, high, always right in the mix there. And the decision to take 2, was that just the roll of the dice, or did you feel that you needed to get out ahead of some other cars?
Well, it's kind of like Josh was saying. When you're in the lead like that and you come down to a few laps left, you got one of 2 choices, and like Josh said, whatever you do, the other guys are going to do something different. I pulled out of my pit stall with the 2 tires I took, and I looked over to the left, and I seen them lifting up the left side of Rick's car, and I told Josh, I said, we're in trouble.
Yeah, there was some good hard racing out there tonight, Slim.
Yeah, it's like I told you before the race. This is probably one of my favorite tracks. It's just a fun place to race, high speed. We battled against Rick there, the master there. We tried to beat him, but he managed to get us in the end. So congrats to you, Rick. Good job.
Excellent.
Well, you said there was going to be a good show tonight, and you weren't kidding, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great race. Some great side-by-side racing. Not only side-by-side racing, but side-by-side for the lead, and 2, sometimes 3, 4 deep action there. So yeah, some good stuff. And uh, Rick, you know, the cream rises to the front, to the top of the heap, and another quality win for you. So congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Milty, and I guess another race in the books here, and we continue on in this series. And I don't think the points are just up to date just yet, but
Yeah,
we'll be able
Uh,
to
Ken's
I'm
recap
out
supposed
those
to
of
be.
next
town.
week.
I'm supposed to be doing that. Sorry, guys. You pulled me up to the booth and I
Yeah,
forgot
that's
my
okay.
job here.
That's no problem. We can recap
Yeah.
that when we pick up the series next week. And another great race, great broadcast, Milty. Appreciate the time as always.
Yep.
And keep on the website, keep looking. Always look. We never know when we're gonna throw a broadcast out there. Pony Express Broadcasting as well out there, showing some. I heard the chicken race there went off with a couple hitches, but uh, still was a pretty
Yeah,
damn good broadcast. So
yeah, it was going great until that darn server. I was like, and Rick Johnson is gonna pit. Rick's gone. Wait, everybody's gone. But that's computer sim racing. That's RLM does a great job, and but when you got 20, 30 guys from all over the world in a split millisecond racing, from computers all around, and then I mean, it's the technology is mind-boggling, and sometimes it system breaks down, but.
yeah, it happens. And but yeah, so always stay tuned for our next broadcast, and of course we'll always do our best to bring you Winston Cup Racing Friday nights here at FSBRacing.com. So
Yeah,
again, thanks a lot, guys.
Here we go.
Thank you guys.
And also,
Yep.
before we go, Milty, want to give a shout out to Pinky out there.
Yeah, absolutely,
Recouping
there.
and hopefully catching the broadcast here. We're all pulling for you, Pinky, and look to see
Man,
that car
just
back
hang
on the
in
track
there,
as soon
man.
as we can.
Pink, it was love at first sight, man, and
Results are up, guys.
All right.
hang in there, Pinky. Get better, and come and see us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, again, FSBRacing.com. Check it out, and you could be watching what these guys just did.